I'm going to show you how to fix AI product photos so that they look real without cursing at your AI or banging on your desk. So for my first AI photography contract, I generated 1,887 visuals for 17 final product images in total. It took me 2 weeks, more than 100 hours. I charged $300 for the job, so I made probably less than $3 per hour. And I swore this would be the last time. You can see some of the visuals I generated for the client here. 1,887 visuals, so 1,887 visuals. So I tried a lot of things. I keep regenerating and regenerating images, and it was very, very painful, very annoying, and very difficult. And turns out the problem wasn't me, it was that I had no system, essentially. This was probably my first client or second client, so I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just hammering generate and regenerate and hoping. And that contract nearly made me give up on AI photography, but it's exactly why I can now show you the workflow that gets it right the first time. 1,887 generation, and then it hit me. Garbage in, garbage out. I had been blaming the AI, but 80% of the result was decided before I ever hit generate. In how I prepared the product photo itself, the generation, that's the easy last 20%. And that product was for a piece of jewelry, well, various pieces of jewelry, which is one of the hardest things to keep accurate. Maybe not the hardest, but one of the hardest. So if I can make jewelry look right, I can fix almost anything. So let's get into it. This is how you fix AI product photos. Step number one is product preparation. And really, this is 80% of the work. If you get this right, the rest is easy. Like, if you're just starting out in this field, you might be thinking that you should focus on prompting and image generation and which AI models to use, which are all good questions. But really, what you realize as you get into it is if you want to make your life easier and not have to waste hours generating and generating, product preparation is where it's at. And by the way, I run a free school community where I'll teach all that. So check the link in the description. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Step two is lock and outpaint. So this is a prompting technique that I developed. And essentially the idea is that you don't force the AI to change the angle of your product, because this is when you get issues with AI image generation, is if you have a product, and let's say this is a product here, okay, like a phone or whatever, and you say the AI, take this photo, this flat photo of this phone, and make someone hold it to their ear, then you're changing the angle of the product. And when you change the angle is where everything goes wrong, essentially. So to fix that, I developed a technique called lock and outpaint. And essentially, I say, I give the product to the AI, a photo like this, and I say, don't change the angle, just create the world around this product, okay? And this is the lock and outpaint technique, very effective. And it makes you have, it makes it way easier, like 1,000 times easier. Because again, when you get errors with AI, with details being inaccurate, and my focus is on AI product accuracy, is when you ask it to change the angle of the product, okay? And step three is integrate, okay? So the final step is to integrate the product into its new environment so that it looks natural. Because if I say to the AI, take this phone and put it into, I don't know, a dark room, for instance, right? If it just takes the phone as is and put it in a dark room, it's not going to look good, because essentially the phone is in a light room right now. Okay, so the lighting is not going to be the same. So this is the last step of the process. We make sure the object is integrated to its new environment. And so let me show you exactly how to do that. Okay, so pretty simple. So 3 steps. Product preparation, very essential. Second step, lock and Outpaint, my technique to get the best results essentially, and to spend less time generating images so that you can get paid more per hours if you're a freelancer, or if it's for your own brand, you're watching this video, then you're going to spend way less time fighting the AI. And step 3, integrate. Okay, so let's get into how that works step by step. Okay, so first let's focus on product preparation. Okay, so within the product preparation, the step 1 is you want to take a picture of your product. And it might sound obvious, but you won't be, you will be surprised at how many small businesses don't have good pictures of their products. They might have renders, they might have whole pictures, but like one client I'm working with, for instance, at the moment, is sending me picture of their product from their hotel bedroom. Okay, so literally they throw their product on the bed, they take pictures, and they send it to me, which is okay. I can deal with it. I'm a professional, but essentially it's very important to take good pictures of your product, because this is what goes into the AI. Like my saying is garbage in, garbage out. So if you feed bad pictures into the AI, low resolution, low quality, bad lighting, the output is going to be bad. Okay, so how do you take a picture of your product? Try to put it on the table on a white surface if you can. That's ideal. Against a white background if you can as well, like a white wall. And use natural light or daylight at the minimum. You know, that's kind of the minimum you can do. Like if it's like 9 p.m. right now, it's not the right time to take a picture, you know. Try to do it in the daytime, like between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., whatever. Because you're gonna get much better details this way. Okay. And so take a good picture of your product. Then secondly, remove the background. Okay, use a background remover. You can use mine. These are my software, design.com, usign.com, which is free. It's a bit like Canva or Remove BG, any background remover software, so that you have a white background. Okay, so that's important. Okay. Because like I say, garbage in, garbage out. So you want to remove everything that is not your product. Okay. And this is product preparation. And like I say, this is 80% of the work. So when you think of AI image generation, like really in my workflows, I would say between like 50 and 80% of the work is just preparation, research, understanding, figuring things out, and the last 20% is the generation. So it's normal that if you're getting into this field, or if you want to create some good images for yourself, you should understand that this foundational work is very important, and it's not something you can skip. Otherwise you will pay it with your time, essentially, because you'll have to regenerate many different times in order to get a result. When you use this strategy I'm giving you today, you can get the same result in probably will take you like 1 hour or 2 hours. If you don't, then it might take you 10 hours and you might not get even a good result at the end. Okay. So step 3, upscale. So if your image is not at least 2000 pixels on its longest side, so it could be the height or the width, use an upscaler to upscale it. We have one in design.com. Or you can use Upsampler, which is one I really like and that I use quite a lot, or Magnific, which I haven't used in a while, but it was good when I used it. So these are the 3 steps, okay? Take a pic of your product, remove the background, and upscale. Make sure it's a good enough dimensions and resolution, because if you feed the AI a 500 times 500 pixels image, which is blurry, the output is going to be bad. Okay. Step 4 in the product preparation is create your angle bank. Okay, so an angle, what I call an angle bank, is just your products in different angles. Okay, and again, this is very, very useful for the AI. So take more pics of your products in multiple angle, follow the same preparation process. So you put your product on the table at a different angle, from the back, from the side, from the left, from the right. Take a picture, remove the background, upscale. Okay, or you can use AI to create the other angles, but you want to watch out for hallucination, like any error it might make, and use this prompt here. Okay, so rotate this product to a straight on front view. Rotate this product about 35 degrees to the left, a 3/4 front view, and so on. Okay, so you upload your main image. Let's say this is your main image in Google Gemini or ChatGPT or any of these. And then you say, rotate this product to a straight on front view. Okay. And it will create like this version, the front view. And by the way, in design.com, this is done automatically, like all these angles. I think it can do up to 12 angles at once. So that helps, but that's the principle here. Okay. So what this does is that when we use the lock and outpaint technique, we'll say, keep these glasses as they are, and around these glasses build the world, right? So it could be like a woman wearing the glasses, but we are seeing her from the side. Okay, so this way the AI has no opportunity to mess up the product accuracy, because again, it messes it up when it tries to change the angle. That's why we prepare an angle bank. Okay, so if you do all this, like depending on how many angles, how many visuals you'll need, you might have a bigger or smaller angle bank. Like at minimum, just have one good product image like this. Then if you want to go a bit further, do like a couple angles, and if you want to go all in, do like 8-10 angles like this, right? Step 2 is lock and outpaint. Okay, so now we'll go to our AI image generator. Okay, and we're gonna upload your source image to your AI platform, like design.com, like Gemini, ChatGPT, I think can do it, or similar. I recommend you use Nano Banana 2 as a model though, which is available in Gemini, and set the output to 2K. Okay, so the output aspect ratio to 2K, which is an option in Nano Banana 2. And this is the prompt you should use. And by the way, I did a video on my channel on which are the best AI model to use, and essentially this is the best one to use for client work. Step 1, lock. Okay, so this is the first part of the prompt. Keep the product in the exact original position, crop, zoom, and angle. Do not regenerate, alter, or reprocess the product itself. Okay, so this is the first part of the prompt. So it says to the AI, keep this product as is, don't mess it up, essentially. That's what it says. Step 2, outpaint. So here the idea is to describe the environment that will show around your product. Your product stays locked in place, so there is no drift possible, and we outpaint the environment around it. So then we say, this is the second part of the prompt, outpaint the background on all sides with whatever you want the rest of the images. Okay, so you can say outpaint the background, outpaint this image with a woman wearing the glasses seen from a 3/4 view. Okay, so this is the second part of the prompt where you describe what you want in the image, essentially. Okay, And the third part of the prompt is integrate. So finally, you had this final line to your prompt. This is so that your product matches the environment you just prompted. And by the way, all these prompts should be below these videos, so you can copy them. Match the existing lighting on the product to the new light direction with realistic contact shadows where it rests. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, so here is the final prompt and example results. So keep the product in the exact original position, crop, zoom, and angle. Match the existing lighting on the product to this new light direction. And then in this example here, I just did it against like a walnut wood desk. Okay, so I added to the prompt, outpaint the background on all sides with rich dark walnut birdwood, warm directional side light. Okay, and then in this example, outpaint the rest of the scene, editorial photography of a Mediterranean model wearing the glasses, facing to the left, same position as the glasses, wearing a linen shirt. She's near the coast, slight bokeh effect in the background, premium eyewear brand identity. And by the way, for this part of the prompt here, I used my visual syntax, okay, which is the framework I use for prompting, which is style, subject, action, then scene, camera, and brands. Okay, so I'll cover that in another video, the visual syntax, which is just a framework for prompting, for organizing your prompt. But essentially that's what I did here. Okay, but again, you don't need to do all that. You can just say what you want the AI to show. Okay, this is just a little more advanced here. And so that's pretty much it. That's all you do. Okay, you prepare the product, you use a lock and outpaint prompt, and then you integrate. And this is how you fix your AI product photos. Okay, that's the only way. That's the best way. That's the way where you don't get any headache and you don't have to spend hours or days regenerating like I did for one of my first clients here. Okay, so yeah, hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and check out my community and free training here if you want to learn more about this field and get better at it.